I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wrenches in my top drawer of my Snap-on box. I think I'm missing. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pliers in my bottom drawer of my Snap-on box. Get ready to fix some cars. Get ready to fix. Let's go! Hey, what's up guys, it's MJ100K, and today I'm going to be making a quick video just responding to a comment I received on one of my many UTI Lincoln Tech Suck videos. And here we go. I'm not going to use his name for privacy, but I'm going to go ahead and read some of it. He says he wants to use his GI Bill to go to UTI and not a community college because the community college requires some stupid writing class for their diesel mechanic program. And he doesn't want to do all that different BS. He just wants the auto classes. Alright, yeah, I get it. Other people have said that in the comments, so I'm going to address that. It says he lives in Hawaii. That's awesome. I lived in Hawaii briefly when I was very young. One of my parents was in the Army, and they were stationed there, and I remember it was awesome. The weather, just the whole environment there, but I do remember it being super expensive, so I know why you may want to leave. A tiny house for 700 grand, 3 bedroom and 2 bath, less than half an acre. Yeah, that's bogus. The small town where I live, $700,000 will get you a giant castle, okay? Or you'll get a friggin' castle with acres of land. So yeah, screw that. Get on out of there as soon as possible and just go ahead and visit Hawaii once in a while. I'd like to visit one day too. Let's go see my old neighborhood. But anyway, yeah, getting out of there is good if you want to get a house at some point. I know my house was super cheap, and I got 3 bedrooms and 1 bath, almost a quarter acre, and I got it. It was a foreclosure. It was less than 50 grand. So once I fix it up, it'll probably be worth about 130 or 140. But anyway, let's move on to your point. You don't want to take one writing class, and that is what is stopping you from going to community college. I mean, look, I was able to read your comment, and it seemed like you have the ability to write properly. A lot of the comments I get on my page, I gotta get a friggin' interpreter, and there's no punctuation, and those people I could understand maybe not wanting to go to college for a writing class, but it looks like you could do it. So I wouldn't let that stop you. As far as community colleges anyway, even regular college, just these basic classes are not that hard, and you can see a lot of people who have college degrees are friggin' idiots. So here's an example.
I know the human being and fish can coexist peacefully.
You'll never forget, and in case you have, we have the tape, Mr. Lamon's Malaysia Airlines segment, the one in which he speculated that maybe the flight had vanished into a black hole.
What if it was hijacking or terrorism or mechanical failure or pilot error? But what if it was something fully that we don't really understand? A lot of people have been asking about that, about black holes and on and on and on. They're also referencing the Twilight Zone, which has a very similar plot. That's what people are saying. I know it's preposterous, but is it preposterous, you think, Mary?
Yeah, so as you can see, just graduating college doesn't mean you had to be freaking Einstein. A lot of the teachers in these colleges, they want to design their classes so that you will pass them. Okay, they don't want to fail you. If they fail too many people, their boss will go back and say, look, you need to figure out a way to get some of these people to pass, because this doesn't look good, you having all these people fail. Also, I know that in most community colleges, they have like areas where they have tutors that are free. And they might have something called a writing lab, where you can go and all you have to do is you write a rough draft to whatever paper they want you to write in English, and they'll go ahead and go through it with you and show you what you did wrong, and they'll review it all for you, and it'll be perfectly passable by the time you turn it in. So don't worry about that. Also, a lot of times in college, people get involved in little groups of friends that you might meet, and they all help each other with their homework and with their writing assignments. I know when I was in college to get my engineering degree, I had a roommate, and he was like from India, and he could barely speak English, so you know that he can't write English very well. And he was concerned because we had one class where they made you write essays, and you had to write a 10-page essay, and he didn't want to do it. So I said, look, I'll help you with your writing assignments, but you got to help me with my pro engineer assignments. So it's like a program that you use to make 3D models of parts, and you can put them all together in assemblies. Like it's for what engineers use when they design their parts. And I could do it, but I just wasn't that fast because like my brain is not very good with directions. Like I frequently get lost when I'm driving around. Like if I don't have a GPS, you could ask any of my friends, I will be driving off the side of the ocean before I realize that I'm in the wrong direction. So like I was saying, he helped me with Pro Engineer, and I helped him write all his papers. So there will be people to help you, and these classes are not that hard, believe me. But anyway, but my major point is that when you go to community college, it gives you access to a lot of jobs that you won't have access to with just a degree from UTI and Lincoln Tech. And I'd like to make a whole video for this in the future, but I'll just go over a couple of these jobs now. So the main reason why I think it's important to go to community college, if you can, if you have the time and money, is the jobs that you can apply for out of community college are a lot easier on your body. They're a lot more consistently profitable, and they're also easier on your spirit. So number one, they're easier on your body. Let me read you a review that somebody left on Indeed about working at a dealership. Said, I've been to 3 different dealerships. All 3 have been completely miserable. Getting out of the dealership industry has been one of the best things I've ever done in my life. I got into the industry because I loved working on cars and have heard from people making good money back in the day. But it's one thing to work on cars on your own time and being forced to do it 16 hours worth of labor in an 8-hour day to make an acceptable amount of money. You wear out fast, both physically and mentally. You get zero respect from managers and service advisors. You're a meaningless cog in their machine, and it just isn't worth it. I'm 28 and I feel like I'm 80, sometimes getting out of the bed in the morning. So that's a review that I read from somebody I don't even know, from off of Indeed's website. If you also want to see other type of reviews, you could check out a website called Glassdoor. So anyway, I agree with this person. I was only a actual dealership mechanic for about a year. I worked at Honda and I briefly worked at Nissan, and this guy is totally correct. I've never seen a dealership mechanic out of his 50s. So if you're young and you're maybe in your 20s, don't expect to make it to retirement age working at a dealership, or even if it's a diesel dealership, because your body will wear out very fast. Number 2, your spirit. So a lot of people don't know this, but there's a lot of shady things that go on at dealerships. You're basically working with a bunch of snakes and pirates. Not all, but most of these service managers and service advisors are nothing but sneaky snakes. They are making a lot of money, exaggerating things, and sometimes outright lying to people about what their car needs. I'll give you an example. When I worked at Nissan briefly, I don't know if it's like this everywhere, but at this particular dealership, they would not report things to customers if they were still under warranty. Like they would say, oh, don't say anything about that. The car's under warranty. Wait till it's out of warranty. You know why? Because mechanics and the dealership, they get paid less to work on a car while it's under warranty. So, because they have a different measurement for the hours. For example, like let's say you're doing a brake job and the car's under warranty. The manufacturer might only pay you 0.7 of an hour to do it if it's under warranty. But the same exact job, if a customer comes in and the car is out of warranty, the dealership may charge them 2 hours to do that brake job, or an hour and a half, or whatever. Either way, the customer is paying. When the customer's paying, they call it customer pay. The mechanics and the dealership get paid more to do that job. So they are, the mechanics are encouraged not to report things that they might find wrong when the car's under warranty. And I know that happened to me, and that happened to a friend of mine also who worked at another manufacturer's car. I think he worked at Chrysler. So yeah, I'm not saying every Chrysler dealership does this, but I know it's an unspoken thing in the industry that does happen, and it may or may not happen to you, but you don't want to have to do things that you disagree with in your heart just so you could keep getting paid, a good wage. If you're not working at a dealership, like if you're working at an OEM, for example, when I worked at Toyota as an engineer, they have technicians whose job it is to help with the research and development testing of vehicles. So, when a manufacturer is making a car in America, most of the time they're going to have a testing facility somewhere where they are testing these vehicles. A lot of times they have engine dynos or chassis dynos as well. Sometimes they have courses where they run the car on a course over and over again. And if something breaks, they're going to call the technician to come look at it and see what broke. And a lot of times all the time they have technicians to do that. So if you want to get a job like that, where you're getting 40 hours every week, plus overtime, by the way, and you don't have to worry about, how many hours am I going to flag this week? Is my body, I got to work 10 hours today, and is my body going to last, 10, 20 years doing this? If you got a sweet job like that, now, those jobs, they can be stressful too. It's no magic job where there's no problems at all. But these jobs are much easier on your body, easier on your spirit, because you don't have to worry about doing these shady things and gray area type situations. You could just go to work, do your job, and go home, I mean, sometimes you'll get a terrible manager and you might not like working with them, but, at big companies like that, once you put in usually a year or two at a certain job, you could transfer within the company to get a different job in a different department doing the same thing. So that is what is awesome about having a job at an OEM. And also the greatest thing, I think, is the money. It's going to be consistent check. Every week your check's going to be the same or more. And that is not going to happen at a dealership in most cases. In most dealerships, you're getting flat rate. And your check's going up, it's going down. Sometimes service managers will just cut your pay out of nowhere. Sometimes, I heard one place, they had people on salary, and then the dealership wasn't making that much money. So the service manager switched everybody to flat rate when the slowest time of the year came, which is usually around Christmas and New Year's. And January, February, usually it's slow there. So everybody's checks got just drastically cut, and there was nothing they could do about it. But if you're working at an OEM directly at some testing facility somewhere, that's probably not going to happen. Once I did hear that a department had to move from, like, let's say one part of the country on the West Coast to part of the country in the Midwest, and they offered the technicians, they said, well, you signed up to work here, but if we move you over here, move your whole family, you'll get a relocation bonus, and you'll get a special bonus once a year, and I'm not going to say exactly where this happened, but it was 4 years, $10,000 a year. They got, as long as they stayed in the job for a year, they will get an extra $10,000 over the course of 4 years. And that's addition to the yearly bonuses that they would get, you know, just as like a profit sharing type of thing. So these are the kind of benefits and the kind of baller status you could look forward to if you were able to get a job at an OEM directly. There are also jobs at like Tesla. They do mobile mechanics because they don't have dealerships. So when a car has a problem, they'll send a technician out to your house to fix that car. So I mean, you could get jobs like that. I'm sure those guys are probably getting all kind of bonuses and everything, and the most wear and tear on their body is just driving around. So you know, those are the kind of jobs you could keep for a long time. So this is what I want you to think about when you're deciding that you an extra English or math class isn't worth it. Because you know what, if you can get that type of job, here's a helpful hint. When you first get that job, max out your 401k. Like however is the most they will let you put into it, just put that in there, and a lot of times they'll match it and just set it to where it has the most aggressive investment strategy. I had a friend who did that when I worked at Cummins, and after about 10-11 years, the dude had like 100 G's in his 401k. Alright, so the faster you can get that kind of money is the faster it'll double. The point of investments is, when you invest in stock markets or mutual funds, is that every 7 or 8 years approximately the money will double. It's called compound interest. Now it's not guaranteed, you know, of course you could lose it all, but that's very unlikely. So like, let's say by 32 you got 100,000 in your 401k, you know, by 40 at least it'll probably be 250,000. You get another flip by 48, it'll be 400,000. By 55, it'd be 800,000, and you could last even longer. You could definitely retire a millionaire. So if you start thinking, oh, I don't want to take this English class, oh, this math class, oh, I don't feel like it. All right, well, when you're 55 years old and you think back to this video and you see $1 million in your 401k and all these years and years and years of bonuses that if you don't blow them, if you save them, you could definitely have your body intact, have your cash intact, and you'll be able to make it to retirement if you start doing an easier job like this at an OEM. And if you don't think that's worth it, well, that's up to you, good brother, but it's your choice to make. So if you have any questions, you can feel free to write them in the comments, and have a good one.